Hello there, and today we're going to be preparing for an essay on Macbeth's demise if this one was to come up in our exam. So this question is probably going to have a specific lens. In the absence of that lens, we've just left it blank in our example question. So to what extent does Shakespeare present something as responsible for Macbeth's demise? It might steer you towards an ambition, might steer you towards his wife, we don't know. But let's prepare for an essay regardless of what it might ask us, so we've got something to say about each of the key things that are responsible for his downfall. Now in my introduction, I want to be making the point that Shakespeare shows through Macbeth's demise the corrupting power of ambition. He shows the supernatural's desire for chaos. He shows that acts of love can destroy and kill. I'm talking particularly about Lady Macbeth there and what she tries to do for her husband. And he shows that nothing is more powerful than fear, and this is what destroys Macbeth. So the 4 points I simply have to make when it comes to Macbeth's demise. First of all, I need to talk about the role of the supernatural. The supernatural feeds him riddles that prompt him to act contradictory to his good nature, and the quote I'm going to use for this is thunder, lightning or rain in Act 1, Scene 1. I'm then going to talk about his ambition, talk about his desire to fulfil his goals that lead him to increasingly irrational and drastic choices, and the quote I've got for that is, "I have no spur to prick the side of my intent except vaulting ambition." Then I talk about his wife, Lady Macbeth, who plays a big role in Macbeth's demise. She manipulates him into killing, sending him on a downward spiral into shame and disgrace, and the quote I've got for that is, "Look the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it." Finally, we need to talk about his fear and the role this has in his demise, for his increasingly tyrannical actions are driven by paranoia and fear for his life, and the quote we've got for that is, "Full of scorpions is my mind." So, paragraph 1, quote 1, thunder, lightning or rain. Here the witches declare that they will meet Macbeth, and they do, so they're the control of his fate and his destiny. Now he wrongly puts his faith in them and he indulges their riddles, so that's the first thing he does that goes wrong to start his decline. Now the witches do not want to help him. The thunder and lightning in this scene reflects the chaos and the danger they bring to society, so they plan to use Macbeth to bring chaos and disorder to our world. Now a Jacobean audience associates these witches with the ultimate evil, and they firmly believe they can control the future. So this instantly establishes Macbeth as a victim of their power and their desires, and therefore his demise is probably inevitable. Now the pathetic fallacy here of this weather being, well, it's thunder, lightning, rain, so it's really miserable weather, shows that all these options are unpleasant, demonstrating how all of Macbeth's choices are going to lead to pain and suffering no matter what it chooses to do. But the weather is also inescapable. If it's raining one day, you can't get out of the rain. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you go outside of your house. So this is reflective of how Macbeth could never escape the clutches of the supernatural. They were always going to bring him about his downfall, no matter what he tried to do. So paragraph 2, I'm going to talk about his ambition. "I have no spur to prick the side of my intent except vaulting ambition." This is a quote that Macbeth says when he is considering whether or not to kill King Duncan. Now he recognises his only motive to kill the king is his own personal ambition. However, he still goes ahead and does it, and this murder then begins his downward spiral into tyranny. So we have to attribute his part of his downfall to his selfish ambition. Now he is willing to let his personal ambition here destroy the great chain of being. Thereby he is committing a sin against God and sentencing society to damnation and punishment, all for his ambition, showing what a key role this plays in his downfall. The noun spur here, a spur is what's on the back of cowboy shoes, used to drive horses and make them go faster. So this symbolises that his ambition is the one motive he has to drive his actions, nothing else. And the adjective vaulting here to describe his ambition connotes overcoming an obstacle, reflecting how he sees this murder of Duncan as just something he needs to overcome. But if his ambition is also vaulting, that shows how he's out of control, it's too powerful for him, it's not something he can control or curtail anymore, but actually it controls him and consumes him. My third paragraph is going to be talking about his wife, Lady Macbeth, and I've chosen this quote here. This is her request to her husband when Duncan comes to stay, to "Look the innocent flower, be the serpent under it." So Lady Macbeth here is manipulating Macbeth into killing Duncan, which starts his demise. Now we need to be a little bit careful with this, because we can't just list her as a bad girl in a book. She has sacrificed her dignity and honour and cost him his respect and happiness through her threats and manipulation. But this is really ironic, as she did it as an act of love to push him to reach his ambition. She was trying to do the right thing by her husband, support him and help him to be the best man he could, but in doing that she has suffered and he has suffered. Now this shows the danger of this untraditional imbalance in the Jacobean relationship. A woman should be inferior, they should be separate from this violence, they should be subordinate to their man. In this situation, in this relationship, Shakespeare has created an alternative relationship where the woman is in control, the woman is in charge, and the woman is the one who's driving this desire for violence. And look where it ends up. It ruins Macbeth and it ruins Lady Macbeth. Now the noun flower here has got connotations of something needing care and protection. If you've got flowers in your gardens, you need to look after them, you need to protect them, you need to take care of them. So this is how she feels Macbeth needs off her. She feels that Macbeth needs that care and that protection like a flower. Now flowers also look nice, but they don't last for very long, reflecting on Macbeth's honourable reputation will also be lost as a result of the actions he makes. I'll then also talk about the metaphor of serpent. Now a serpent is a snake. Snakes are associated with betrayal, so she feels no remorse at this stage for the deceitful acts that will destroy Macbeth, and she introduces this violence into his life. So she is the driver in the destruction of Macbeth's good character. My final paragraph will be on his fear, and I've chosen this quote here: "Full of scorpions is my mind," when he is talking to Lady Macbeth about the fact Banquo is still alive and the threat he possesses to his life. So as king, Macbeth is racked with paranoia and fear for his safety. This fear corrupts his good character and decency. It drives him away from his wife and back to the supernatural, for after the ghost of Banquo scene he goes back to ask the witches for advice and not his wife. And it drives him to a tyranny as he seeks to hold on to his power through fear and violence, such as killing Banquo, trying to kill Fleance, killing Macduff's family, and so on. Now this is a constant fear for all medieval kings. Therefore is it the office and human greed for power that is actually destroying Macbeth, rather than anything that he's made a mistake with himself. But most importantly about this quote is this metaphor of scorpions. Now scorpions connote death, reflecting that it is his anxiety and his fear that will drive him to death. Scorpions are also hard and robust, so there's nothing he can do to get rid of this paranoia. But critically, scorpions are also small. So this fear right now is driven by Banquo and the fact that he knows that Macbeth may have played foul for his role and his power. But this is only a small problem in the greater scheme of kingship. Of all the issues he's got with all of his rule and with all of his country, he can't get over this one stumbling block of Banquo, showing how his fear and his paranoia is driving him insane, making a big thing out of the small things.